Always watching out for you. Keep your hands on the wheel. Don't reach for anything and listen to the officer. This is the talk that many African American parents say they give to their children on how to interact with police during a traffic stop. A local police department is getting involved in that conversation with students in Fountain. News 5's Renee Skinner brings us more.
We have to understand that as African Americans, the objective is to live. And if we want to protest, we protest later.
The recent traffic stops caught on video are getting harder and harder to watch. But what remains the same? A conversation that many black parents deem necessary, ensuring their child won't be next. According to a Harvard study done in June of 2020, African Americans are 6 times more likely to have fatal encounters with police than any other ethnicity.
As a matter of fact, let me tell you.
And Frank Lytle knows this.
I was in the car and she was driving and the police pulled her over.
Which is why he's had what's called the talk twice with his 2 daughters.
You can't be aggressive. You keep quiet until a question is asked of you. Let them emphasize on why they pulled you over. You know, you inquire after everything is over, is what was I doing for you to pull me over?
These are our electrical.
Frank is also an engineer and co-owns his own business in Colorado Springs. When he's not in the office, he's serving in a different way. Frank is a member of the Colorado Springs alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, a group that offers programs for young men that also involve the talk.
We've had Colorado Springs Sheriff Department to come in and talk about policing in the Colorado Springs area. And in addition to that, we've had some of our own members to talk to the young men.
These are photos from 2019. The programs were put on hold last year because of COVID. But now, a local police department picking up the torch.
They've never been pulled over or stopped or even understand how the process works besides what they see on TV.
Continuing this discussion with a demonstration led by Sergeant Matthew Sanchez.
I want to take away some of that fear today and take some away that unknown.
A group of kids at the Welty Education Center.
The one thing I love about having resource officers, it can dispel some of the myths. It's only one way, and that you can't have positive relationships.
Were pulled over in a fake traffic stop by a real traffic officer.
I'm Corporal Steele at the Fountain Police Department. They're doing 35 in a 25 residential zone.
Showing these soon-to-be drivers what they need to do when stopped.
How does it feel actually sitting here and seeing it?
But what about before getting pulled over?
Arms out the window. That's okay.
That's fine.
Commander Frankie Lewis says make sure you're in a well-lit area, like this young man did in Virginia.
If that well-lit area is a little ways away, there's no problem with you calling 911, giving your location, and saying I have an officer that's trying to pull me over on a traffic stop. I'm just trying to get to a well-lit area.
And like the incident involving Dante Wright, can an officer stop you for having too many air fresheners? Yes.
Because it's obstructing your view of your windshield. We really don't pull people over for that here in Fountain.
Meanwhile, the mock traffic stops will continue.
Slow down.
And back at the office,
More and more universities.
Frank says as soon as things get back to normal, the programs he's involved in will go on too.
It's important because many of the young men and in today's times, they come from single-parent homes, and they don't get the aspect of seeing a strong male leader.
Until then, educators, mentors, and police having that important conversation to build relationships between the men and women wearing the badge and the young men and women, often people of color, behind the wheel. Always watching out for you, Southern Colorado. Renee Skinner, News 5.